Good evening, I'm Kevin Christopher.
And I'm Nancy Cox. Thank you for joining us at 6. The chanting is growing louder in Frankfort tonight as teachers continue to crowd the Capitol.
They're keeping a very close eye on any new developments during this controversial session. So is Conroy DeLuche, and he has the big story at 6.
A crowd of teachers gathered in the rotunda has thinned out considerably after House Bill 250 passed the House. That bill focuses on Jefferson County schools and would give the school superintendent more power in personnel and financial decisions. Jefferson County schools weren't even in session today because too many teachers called out sick, which helped contribute to a huge crowd clad in red throughout the day in Frankfort. Before the majority yes vote, one representative from Fayette County warned that other districts could be next. Governor Bevin was critical of the sick outs, saying that those come at the expense of the students. The Kentucky Education Association president strongly disagreed, adding that they need to make their voices heard for education.
And if we don't hold our elected officials accountable, then what? We're going to get what we get. If we want to influence changes that are positive and the things that are reflective of the people in this Commonwealth, then we need to be civically engaged. That includes everyone.
Another bill capturing the attention of teachers is House Bill 525, which would change who controls the Teacher Pensions Board. That was not brought up on the House floor today. We're covering the news in Franklin County from the LEX 18 Mobile Newsroom. Back to you.
A Kentucky House committee has skipped over a bill to allow big legal cases to be redirected away from a circuit judge in Frankfort. Senate President Robert Stivers told reporters today that his proposal is on life support, with a handful of days left in the legislative session. The House Judiciary Committee didn't take up the bill today. The bill reflects concerns from some lawmakers that circuit judges in Franklin Circuit Court wield too much power in deciding cases of statewide consequence. The attorney for a veteran accused of shooting 2 men in a Lexington bar entered a not guilty plea for him today.
Larry Walters is accused of opening fire in Uncle Seven's Bar and Grill, killing one man and seriously injuring another, a man with intellectual disabilities. LEX 18's Kylan Mills has the update.
Total shock and devastation.
In a matter of seconds, Uncle Seven's bar owner Kenny Emmerich says many lives were changed forever.
And I left for 10 minutes and come back, and there's a murder in a place on the south end of Lexington at 3:30 in the afternoon while kids are getting out of school. This is just unheard of.
He says yesterday while he ran to Kroger, a man he didn't know shot bar regulars James Terry and Stevie. Terry later died at the hospital while Stevie is now fighting for his life.
He's just a sweetheart, you know. He really is, and I just dumbfounded by everything. You know, I was just couldn't believe it happened.
Kevin Henry is Stevie's caretaker, telling us he has the mental capacity of a child. He says Stevie loves Elvis and loves coming to the bar to help out and sing karaoke.
He would write his songs down and get ready for Friday night. He impersonates Elvis, and he's just a good soul. Just a good soul, and we're just so praying for him.
Police say Larry Walters is the one who opened fire. He was arraigned today on several charges, including murder. His attorney says he's a Marine Corps veteran with a number of medical conditions, including a cyst on his brain.
He is advanced in age. He has 0 criminal history. He's a concealed carry holder. And I think that we're going to find out that previously he had been assaulted by at least one of the people involved in this case.
As the case moves forward, we're told family and friends of all involved are at a loss.
The family just really wants to keep the focus on the folks who have lost a loved one and the folks who are caring for a loved one. And we know that tensions are really high right now, but there are a lot of people hurting.
Covering the news in Lexington, Kylan Mills, LEX 18 News.
We're told Stevie's recovering from a second surgery this afternoon, and Walters is set to appear in court again March 28th.
The owner of a tourist boat that sank in a Missouri lake and killed 17 people, including many members of a Lexington teenager's family, has reached a settlement with relatives of 2 brothers who were among the victims. The Kansas City Star reports lawyers for Irvin and Horace Coleman filed a notice of the settlement with Ripley Entertainment last week. Terms of the settlement are confidential. The brothers were among 9 members of an Indiana family who died when the duck boat sank in July on Table Rock Lake near Branson. Their relative, Frederick Douglass student Jaden Coleman, had the chance to go but chose to attend summer football practice instead. Several lawsuits against Ripley and other entities are pending in federal and state court. Spokesman for Ripley Entertainment says the company is continuing mediation with victims of the accident. The lawsuits allege Ripley Entertainment launched the boat despite warnings of severe weather near the lake. The blizzard of 1993 is a storm we all remember and one that's still the most costly winter storm to date.
It plagued the eastern third of the continent and shattered records for March snowfall. The Commonwealth also saw low temperatures dropping down to 11 degrees. Claire Kopsky takes us back to that frigid and deadly storm.
When's the last time you had a snowball fight? Or made a snowball this big? Many would say it was in 1993.
That storm, I remember it was windy, a lot of icicles, and it was really cold.
It's interesting because we're always usually right on the cusp here in Lexington and whether we get rain, snow, or ice, so we happen to get a lot of snow that time.
A lot of snow is a bit of an understatement. Many parts of Kentucky received between 6 and 30 inches of snow and had 6 to 10 feet of snow drifts.
It stayed for almost 2 weeks, 3 weeks, as far as I remember. After that, we couldn't stay in our house. We had to go over my cousin's house. Mom and Dad went over my aunt's house. They're the only one who have electricity in town.
The storm happened during the SEC tournament, and about 1,000 fans coming to and from the tournament ended up sleeping in EKU's Alumni Coliseum. After their game, even the Georgia team stayed in Kentucky, staying warm in the Holiday Inn hot tub.
It put us for a while, but the main thing, we're all together, and that's what it's all about. It's not something I want again.
Not something he wants again, and thankfully something the Lexington Fayette Emergency Management Director says we likely won't see again.
We do a lot of pre-planning now that we didn't used to do.
More planning in an effort to keep us all safe. Covering the news in Lexington, Claire Kopsky, LEX 18 News.
The Lexington Fayette County Emergency Management Director suggests having your emergency plans ready for your vehicle and your home, whether it be for a power outage, snowstorm, or a tornado.
Forecasted that storm 26 years ago. It was an amazing thing meteorologically to see, where we actually merged the Arctic, the polar, and the subtropical jet streams all into one. That happened down at the Gulf Coast, and just an incredible system. Storm of the century. It was named that for a reason. You are looking today at a vastly different picture 26 years later. We're starting to green things up out there. You may have noticed that. Not too many more weeks and the lawnmowers are going to start cranking up. But we've got the clouds out there this afternoon. That as we look with our Kentucky or St. Joseph Health weather bug camera. That one's located there at Center College. I'll eventually break that habit. It was only a habit for like 10 years. But again, we're seeing temperatures this afternoon that are running in the 50s. That is going to be changing. I know it says Center College in Danville. That's really St. Joseph East. So we'll just get rid of that. We'll talk about the warmth that is on the way. And we're talking 60s and 70s, but for 2 days only. We'll have that for you in just a minute.
You know we're on live TV, right, Bill?
Really?
Just checking. Just checking. Thanks.
Bill. Marion County Sheriff's deputies are trying to find out who drove a pickup through a cemetery in the St. Mary community.
The driver left behind some important evidence, including the truck itself. Tiffany Jackson has the story.
These sacred grounds were the scene of someone's joyride over the weekend.
They had noticed some damage to some of the shrubbery and trees there, intentional damage it appears.
Marion County Sheriff Jimmy Clements says overnight Saturday or early Sunday morning, someone drove around the cemetery at St. Charles Church. The vandal also spray painted the walkway leading up to the cemetery and left clothing items attached to some trees. The biggest thing they left, though, their truck.
And it was, lack of a better word, stuck in the mud.
Sheriff Clements says they do know who owns the truck, but they haven't been able to locate that person. Church leaders estimate they're facing more than $3,000 worth of damage.
With the wet weather we've had and the ground thawing out a little bit, this easily caused a lot of damage.
Sheriff Clements is hoping someone in the community will know something and help them catch whoever caused this mess.
Whether it's a church or a school or ground such as this, anywhere, anybody does damage like that, we want to find out who the person is that was responsible for it and hold them accountable to it.
Covering the news in Marion County, Tiffany Jackson, LEX 18 News.
If you have any information that could help investigators, you're asked to call the Marion County Sheriff's Office at 270-692-3051.
Boyle and Mercer counties are considering building a joint jail, and if they do, it could be on land owned by the North Point Training Center. The Danville Advocate-Messenger reports the warden has identified one area where it could work to build the jail, but no specifics have been nailed down. The building would provide the two counties with their own separate entrance. The warden tells the paper the state hasn't been approached about the idea yet. Boyle and Mercer already share the Boyle County Jail, which has been found to be overcrowded and inadequate to provide constitutionally required levels of medical and mental health care for inmates. A new 450-bed jail would cost around $34 million. Renovating the current facility, which is another option, would cost nearly $36 million.
A very special guest was on the Sayre School campus today.
We'll introduce you to a murder victim's mother who's spreading a strong message to erase hate. That's next on LEX 18 News at 6.